Bishop Garland Hunt, and this is the Power of Hope Devotional. And I know, hey, you say, man, you come on all the time. Well, I have a lot to say. I really do. Listen, let me just say I'm actually here in Atlanta, Georgia area. Many of you know the Father's house right here at 6060 Spalding. So if you want to be a part of us, feel free to come a part of us. We actually, by the time you see this, we would have started our open services here. We opened up the building. So please come on in and join us, if you will. Just bring a mask and come on, and we'd love to have you. Our service started at 10:30 now on Sunday. So please be a part of us. We have open services now at the Father's house, 6060 Spalding in Peachtree Corners, Georgia. Anyway, but let me just say this. I want to talk to you right now about something I believe is very, very key. And this is the whole element of faith versus fear. Faith versus fear. And I know you hear so much about this all the time, especially in this COVID time. But God kind of gave me a revelation on this. I need you to see it. So please don't swipe me. You need to hear this, because I'm realizing something that we're all experiencing. All of us. I realize that faith does not exist by itself. Faith, generally speaking, is mixed with some unbelief. Faith and unbelief. Say, well, can they go together? Can you have faith and unbelief together? Remember when Jesus was at the bottom of the boat and the winds and the waves were coming all in, and they had faith that they knew that Jesus, who was asleep in the well of the ship, that he could come up and help them. So they had faith in that, but they had unbelief in the sense that if you don't come, we're going to die. So faith existed with the fear of death. So what I'm saying to you is that I'm not saying to you that all of us have fear, which of course, you know, that's God did not give us the spirit of fear, but a power, love, and sound mind. But there is some element of fear. And I really want to talk to you, particularly in the context of the COVID season, because we're still in it. And there's a thing about fear. And I realize the scripture that I'm about to read to you is one of the best examples of how you can have faith and fear together. So many times we make excuses. We say, well, you know, I need to, COVID, I need to, you know, separate. I need to wear my mask. I need to pull away. I need to do things that can help me be protection. I even heard people say, well, you know, mask is like your seatbelt. You always wear your seatbelt, right, to protect you. It doesn't mean that you're gonna, you know, that you don't have faith to drive, but it still means that you just do that as a part of protection. And to some degree, maybe that's true, but let me just say this: we never should put our faith in our seatbelt. We don't put our faith in. We have to put our faith and trust in God to keep us from not having an accident. Is that not true? We gotta trust God that we may be safe, because there are many people that may die in a seatbelt, or sometimes even when a seatbelt may cause all kind of crushed necks and chests. All kind of things happen, even with the airbag. The airbag can hurt you. And all those things are there to protect you, but sometimes the things that are there to protect you can still hurt you. So the same thing even with a mask. We got to be careful that we don't put faith in the mask. Don't put faith in the mask to prevent you from getting COVID. What we're doing is we have to trust God in the midst of it. So I am trusting God, even though I am, and that's probably true. But what I'm saying is, let's look at the scripture. Maybe this will make it clear. It says here in Matthew chapter 13, and bear with me, please. Please bear with me. Let me go before you get here. I don't want you to start running off talking about, well, Bishop say don't put on a mask. So I'm actually not talking about whether you wear a mask or not. What I'm saying to you is, do I put my faith in a mask? Do I put my faith in a mask? So, and we should know the answer to that, but I had to answer this question myself. I don't know if I gave you this example. Maybe some time passed. I was in a church service. It was actually a funeral. And I think I told you this before. And I was so proud of those that came to the funeral, because all of them, pretty much 99% of them, had on a mask. So I felt good about it. I said, wow, this is great. Everybody is COVID safe. Everybody's doing what they can do so that we can prevent us from spreading COVID, and that we can be together, but we all have masks. And so after the funeral was over, friends hadn't seen each other for years. This was actually a high school friend. So hadn't seen each other years. So everybody coming together to talk. And so, everybody wasn't those 6 feet distance. But because we had on a mask, we felt comfortable to at least talk. And so the Lord dealt with me later. And because I was gloating, actually, and said, wow, we were smart enough to keep on masks, and therefore we were keeping ourselves from getting COVID. And then God just dealt with me and said, do you think that mask is what keeping you from getting COVID? Do you think that mask, do you think that the mask is going to keep you from getting COVID? It's not. You better trust me and not trust the mask. Trust me. You have to trust me, not the mask. So understand this. And so I realized that there's a level of unbelief was in me because I was thinking that I could trust this mask to keep me from getting, but no, I got to trust God. Can you imagine this little thin thing right here? I can almost tear it. How's this thing going to keep me from getting something that's contagious as COVID? No, God's got to protect me. God's got to do it. So I realized that even though I'm operating in faith, I'm a man of faith and power, to some degree, I was dependent on what I call wisdom in wearing a mask. I was still putting my faith in the mask more than I was trusting God. And I began to rejoice because all of us had on masks, and we were proud. I was proud of my brothers and sisters because they had on a mask, and I was excited because we won't get COVID if we have a mask, and we know that's not true. Only God can protect us. Only God can keep us. So what happens is when a person preaches faith, and this is the example I want to give you. I've had a situation where a person preaches faith, and so you have to have faith. And not faith in a mask, but have faith. And so here my unbelief is mixed in with my faith. And it's almost like the scripture here in Matthew chapter 13. He says that while men slept, the enemy came in and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. So this is he sowed good seed in the field. Men came, and while he slept, he put tares in the field. So of course the wheat and the tares, you know that story. And so it says, then when a blade sprung up, therefore, and then it appeared, the tares on. So the tares are like weeds. It's like you have the wheat, but at the same time you have the weeds that came up. So if the wheat represents your faith, and then you have the tares that represent, I guess, the unbelief. See, unbelief fuels fear. Unbelief is the fuel. You put that as a gas tank. It's the fuel that pushes fear. See, but faith is this where you have to trust God. But sometimes they come together, and this is what it says here. It says well, was the enemy has done this, and he says, well, what do we do? He said, well, no. He replied, if you uproot the wheat, you will both, but let both grow together until the harvest. Then I will tell the harvesters to sort out the weeds, and then tell them to burn it and burn them and put the wheat in the barn. In other words, if you do this too quickly and try to get up the tares, it's going to tear away. You know what I'm saying? It's going to tear away the good. What I'm saying to you is that sometimes we have fear intermingled with our faith. Sometimes fear is intermingled with our faith. Oh my God, my time is gone. Oh my God, I gotta go. I'll pick this up next time. Bishop Garland Hunt, I'll talk to you later.